relationship with Anthony Hill these days?
Hey, it's still good. It's still going on. It's still carrying. You know, I actually talked to him yesterday, but yeah, that's my guy.
Billy, saw some pictures of you guys playing NCAA 25 on the plane down here. What'd you think of how you're portrayed? Just your likeness and skill set and all that on the
Hey,
game?
it's awesome. It's like being a kid again. You know, the last time a college football game came out, I was 11 years old. So you know, just being on the game is a blessing. You know, or being able to play the game. You know, I'm not necessarily worried about my overall and what my speed is, but it's awesome. Man. It's very fun.
Did you look like yourself?
Yeah, it actually does look like me.
Yeah. You and Jackson are obviously from this area. Obviously, Oklahoma recruiting the DFW area has been a key part of their success. Why has Oklahoma been so good at getting Metroplex kids? And does anything change with you guys now going to the SEC, competing against some of the same teams that recruit this area?
Yeah, I think we do a good job of recruiting, not necessarily coaches recruiting players, but players recruiting players. You know, and then also, you know, Oklahoma was a place, a winning, prestigious university, a program football school, you know, trending in the right direction, got a great head coach, you know, just things like that, yeah.
Did you want to go to the SEC, or you didn't care about staying in Big 12? What about going to the SEC?
At first, you know, I really had no opinion on it, but going to the SEC now, I feel like it's great, you know. It's going to be great to experience different type of football, different teams, different venues, all types of things like that. So it's amazing.
Different types. What type? You referring to different types of football?
I'm just saying, you know, more of different styles of how people play. Yes.
What about the exposure? Is it better exposure, you think?
I mean, y'all are the exposure. So I can't tell you if it's better exposure or not. Y'all got to be there. Y'all make the exposure.
I mean, Big 12 is big, and
Yeah.
OU obviously has a big brand, but you think it even elevates it more, and even the competitive level with all the NFL players it sends.
Yeah. Yes. I totally get where you're coming from. Yes, I truly do think it brings more lights, it brings more cameras, more attention. But by us going to the SEC along with Texas, you know, that's a lot of exposure right there. So yes, it does bring more.
Thanks for taking a bad question.
Nah, you good.
Who were some of the quarterbacks?
Have a rivalry being from Denton Guy or Denton Ryan?
Nah, we don't. You know, Peyton Bowman went there too, so I tell Peyton Bowman all the time, I run Denton, because last time I was in high school, Denton Ryan, we beat Denton Guyer, so yeah.
Billy, who are some of the quarterbacks in the SEC that you consider dangerous?
A lot of them, you know, the number 8 from Tennessee, I'm not sure exactly how to say his name, but he's good, you know. Jackson Dart's good. We got Garrett Nussmeier at LSU, Jalen Milroe, Alabama. You know, the Thorne, quarterback at Auburn, first away game. Every game's going to be a test. We can't take nobody lightly.
When you decided to come back for this season, what did you envision for yourself?
To go to a championship, whether that's in conference championship, college football playoffs, or even the national championship. That's what I'm here for.
Coach Venables said that you were one of the greatest leaders of this class. What is your leadership style in the locker room? How do you assess situations when you're in that leadership role?
Most importantly, I lead by example. You know, I pride myself on doing the right things. You know, being the first guy in everything I do. So when those things, when other people see those things, and from a guy who necessarily, I don't talk as much, but when I talk, I have a point and I'm trying to get it across, you take it seriously. So just having a different type of attitude, mindset, and leading by example is how I like to lead.
Billy, as you've gotten to see Jackson more and more, what's impressed you about him?
Can you say it again?
Jackson, as you've gotten to be around him more and more as the starting quarterback, what's impressed you about him?
His knowledge of the game. You know, our defense is very complex, it's very multiple. So by him seeing our defense in practice, all the disguises we do and stuff like that, it's helped him grow as a player. And, you know, actually having Dylan Gabriel last year was very good for him, you know, to get to learn from somebody.
I'm sure a lot of people ask you guys, are you ready to go to the SEC? How do you quantify that? And can you even quantify that, knowing that it's inevitable you're going whether you want to or not?
Yeah, exactly. If we weren't ready to go, what can we do about it? Nothing. You still got to go play football. So, yes, we are very ready. We've been working, you know, ever since, you know, taking that hard loss to Arizona and San Antonio. So, yes, we're very ready and ready to get into fall camp.
What will you miss about the Big 12?
I would probably say, you know, the venues, you know, just going to see different places. It's always good to, you know, travel on away games. You know, you get to see different stadiums, try different foods, all that type of stuff. So that's probably the main thing.
Which one are you looking most forward to this year with your first time in the SEC?
Probably Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Ole Miss.
When you came out of school, why not go to Texas or Texas A&M? You'd have been in the SEC quicker.
Yeah, I would have. You're right.
I'm just saying, why didn't you go to one of those?
No specific reason. I came to Oklahoma to win championships.
Okay, thank you.
We're from Baton Rouge. Just curious what you've heard about Tiger Stadium and LSU and going there this year.
Yeah, I heard the night games get crazy down there. So hopefully, I don't know what the time is for that game, but hopefully we're in front of a packed out crowd. All eyes on the Sooners.
Billy, that secondary is full of a lot of young bulls. What young player have you really taken under your wing to mold him into someone that could be as elite, if not more elite than you?
Billy Bowman, and I truly believe he has the ability to be more elite than I do. He has so much talent in the world. Once everything clicks for him and he kind of grows up more, maybe that'll happen once I'm gone next year. By him realizing, it's my time now. But he's definitely a guy I've taken under my wing. A great young guy, great football player, obviously. And he's just continuing to grow.
You mentioned Peyton. How different is Robert Spears Jennings compared to who he was at the end of last season?
Oh, he's definitely grown a lot. He was a guy who went into last year, his sophomore season, thinking like, I might not play as much. We had Key Lawrence. We just got a transfer from Reggie Pearson. They all played the same position. So it's like, what can I do? And so, it's halfway through the season, towards the end of the season, he got his opportunity. And I told him, you got to run with it. This is your time. And that's exactly what he did. So be prepared for seeing a lot of number 3, which that's his number, Robert Spears Jennings. He'll be all over the field this year for us.
You talked about Denton Ryan earlier. Did you watch any of Anthony Hill last year? And what do you expect from him coming into this next season?
Yeah, obviously, I got to play a season with Anthony Hill my senior year at Denton Ryan. That's a guy who's dominant, who can go 3 and out. Physical guy, big guy, fast, and knows football, knows it really well. So Anthony Hill is my guy, and wish the best of luck to him.
Being from DFW, how excited are you to be back in this area? What does it mean to you to come home, and how important was Denton Ryan for your success today?
Yeah, it's awesome. Having this time here today, it's my first conference media day being at. Having it in Dallas is awesome. Just getting on a 45-minute, plane ride, heading right down here. It's just awesome. Great to be here.
How much did A&M recruit you out of high school, and then how do you feel about being in the same conference with them again? And I know it's been a while, but do you view them as a rival or anything like that?
If it's not Oklahoma, I guess you consider it a rival because we're trying to beat each other. But out of high school, I was recruited by Coach Terry Price. Rest in peace to him. From Texas A&M, he recruited me there, but it was never nothing too major.
What did you like about Terry?
He was just a great guy to talk to. Every time he came to Denton Ryan, just good guy to talk to.
What have you seen from guys like Michael Boganowski, Reggie Powers, and Jalen Hardy this offseason?
Oh yeah. Those are. I'm glad you named those 3 because those are guys to watch in the future. They came in eager to learn, ready to play. So those are guys who are gonna learn from the older guys at this time. But they are definitely up next and ready to roll. But as you said, Michael Boganowski, that's a guy right there who will knock your head off.
Hey Billy, you mentioned that Arizona game. That was a rough game for Jackson. Obviously, first start. How do you think that game has impacted him? Continued to sort of mold who he is and where he's headed?
A lot. It's all a part of the story. You can't. It's not just going to be sunny all the time. So it comes with some rain. So I think it was good for him. And he obviously. He's over it now. There's nothing you can go back and do. But it helped him, and it helped him learn and step into the role he needed to be in.
Billy, there's been discussions about possible penalties for the horns down sign. What are your thoughts on that?
It is what it is, man. If you. It is what it is. I don't throw it up. I'm just going out there trying to beat that team in orange. So that's all.
Billy, do you remember what your immediate reaction was when you heard you guys were going to the SEC in 2021?
I was probably just, like, oh yeah, like that's cool. I'm trying to go to SEC. Get to play different teams, go see different places. The best competition. Let's do it.
Oklahoma's first SEC game will be Tennessee.
Right.
Josh Heupel's obviously a Sooner legend, I guess. How big a deal is that going to be when Tennessee comes in to play you guys? On September 21st.
It's gonna be that whole weekend's gonna be hectic. First SEC game, like you said, and it's versus Tennessee. So obviously our last time we played Tennessee with Baker Mayfield and Sterling Shepard and all of them was a great game. I expect it to be another great game. But it's definitely going to be packed. Fans in the Southeastern Conference, especially Tennessee, will travel, so we'll have a packed out stadium ready to play.
Billy, you led the country with 3 pick sixes last year. How do you follow up a season like that when most of the fan base thought you should have won the Jim Thorpe?
All I'm going to say is I'm going to have more this year.
Billy, congratulations on your engagement. Can you talk a little bit about Jada and how awesome it was to see her win the Women's College World Series for the 4th time?
Yeah. She's amazing. She's the better half. She's the better athlete for all of y'all out there. She is the better athlete. But winning 4 national championships is sort of unheard of. And, we went to the ESPYs last week, and them not winning best team was kind of a shocker. But what they've done, and Jada in particular, being an All-American, being the player she is, and just her being my fiance, it's amazing, and it's somebody that it's something that a lot of people dream of, and so I won't take it lightly. Being able to be with her and live out our dreams together, being 2 prolific athletes from the same university, it's amazing.
Do you have a date for the wedding yet?
Nah, we don't.
Billy, how do you help transfer students or even new high school recruits that are coming into Oklahoma? How do you help them acclimate to the Oklahoma culture as a leader?
First off, a lot of guys that transfer or come in, they see the Oklahoma culture almost immediately. I've talked to a few guys who've transferred in the past, from even from other places, to us, and they say like right away when they touch down in Oklahoma that they feel a different feeling, And we always harp on family, and it truly is, because every single one of those persons I've talked to, they say, yeah, this feels different.
Billy, what's the smack talk in the locker room like with you, Jackson, and Peyton in terms of who actually is the dominant team in Denton?
You would be surprised. It's actually we don't talk about it that much, but they know what my class at Dan Ryan would do to them. So that's all.
Billy, how do you think OU and Texas changes now that it's in the SEC?
Say that again, please.
How do you think OU Texas changes now that it's in the SEC?
Really just the time. It went from 11 a.m. to 2:30, which I liked 11 better. Wake up and play football, get right to it. But nothing has changed. If anything, it might be a little bigger, because, a lot of the SEC teams, they roll together. So, it's going to be a great experience.
Billy, you guys had Dominic Williams kind of this summer. What's he brought earlier? I know you're just summer workouts, but what's he going to bring to the defense?
Yeah, he's going to bring, toughness to our defense, on that defensive line especially, stopping the run is what we need to do. So we brought in him to do that.
Billy, watching you at spring practice, it seems like you've really found your voice as a leader. It's almost like you were another coach back there. How have you maybe grown in that area from where you were a freshman, and how has maybe Brent and Brandon Hall helped you find that voice?
Yeah, being able to just coach in spring ball, I feel like it helped me a lot, because it allowed me to sit back and it allowed me to see football in a different perspective, in the coach's perspective, seeing things that, I necessarily wouldn't see if I'm on the field, even that's with my teammates, seeing how my teammates react, how they communicate, all that type of stuff, it really opens your eyes when you're not out there and you're just coaching.
How much has Brent maybe asked you to step up as a leader? I mean, inviting you to something like this, how much have you leaned on Brent in helping you kind of grow into that?
Yeah, Coach Venables, probably the best head coach I've ever played for. But one thing that he's harped on the past is just being more of a vocal guy, because people will listen when you speak, and so that's something that I definitely tried to improve on, is being more vocal, and just being the best leader I can.
When you've watched other SEC teams in the past, what have you picked up on that you're preparing to be a little bit different from the Big 12 week to week?
Everywhere around the country, when you play football, you're gonna have big guys, you're gonna have fast guys, you're gonna have skilled guys. I would say the main thing that just growing up as a fan of football, you see the SEC has a different type of feel to it in the trenches. So just the trenches, running the ball, stopping the run, the size of the guys, and things like that.
Your first Billy, as you look at the SEC's offenses, I don't know how much you've looked at teams in the SEC offense, so maybe that's part of the answer, but What changes do you see? Did you guys implement anything in the spring looking ahead to those opponents?
Yes. We looked a lot. Obviously, we do a lot of game planning beforehand. So yeah, we caught up on them early. But you'll see a lot of carryover from team to team. You know, you got Tennessee who likes to spread it out a lot. You know, wide splits kind of like our offense. You know, and things like that. Then you got Ole Miss who, you know, they obviously have a whole bunch of receivers they can get the ball to. Obviously, they had a great running back last year. But, you know, definitely have caught a jump on some guys. And you see carryover for sure, but everybody has their own identity.
And Zach Alley, did his addition change your role? Did that change many things you have done in the past and would have done without him?
No, it necessarily hasn't changed anything that I would do differently, you know, position-wise or anything else like that. But it's been great having him here for sure.
Billy, you mentioned Jada. How did it help to have her along this journey with you throughout all these years?
Yeah, it helps because you have somebody who's going through the same thing as you. And so I feel like, you know, we know what each other are going through. And we deal with the same issues, literally the same stuff.
How has your experience at Denton Ryan shaped your play and who you are today?
Yeah, I view Denton Ryan as one of the most, you know, successful, you know, places to play high school football at. You know, when I went there, I had a lot of guys come before me who made that place special. And, you know, we call it the home of the champions because, you know, we produce a lot of people. But ultimately, I feel like my coaches there, you know, my head coach Dave Hennigan, my DC Coach Tollison, those guys really, you know, not only me, but help shape high school kids into being prepared for going to college. So by me going there, I feel like that helped me be a step ahead of other high school athletes when I headed into college.
Your first road game in the SEC comes at Auburn. How familiar are you with Auburn and Jordan-Hare Stadium, and what kind of challenges do you expect that game to pose for you guys?
Yeah, I see a lot of challenges. You know, we can't take nobody lightly, but they definitely have a good running game. They have Thorne back there, number one, the quarterback. Obviously, he can use his feet and his arms, so we'll definitely have to, you know, get intact with that run game, stopping all their read options and all stuff like that.
Billy, Coach Venables talked about on the podium, he talked about building this program on physicality, kind of playing with that physical, you know, tough edge. How much last year did the win over Texas, not just because the year-over-year result, but you have a big goal line stand, you forced some critical turnovers, the way you guys won that game, I don't know if validate's the right word, but how much did that make you guys feel like, in terms of how he wants the program to look, that you guys were on the right track?
Yeah, you hit it right on the dot because it did validate us, but it also made us open our eyes and realize, like, dang, we left. Like when we went back to watch the Texas game, we realized we left this out, we left this out, we left this out. We did this wrong. We did so many things wrong that game. Like we could have won by more. So I feel like, you know, definitely those goal line stops and you know, the offense going down there practice the 2-minute drill all the time in practice, and they went out there and completed it. Executed it. So I feel like, you know, just being able to do that.
I know you talked about, somebody asked you if anything changes with Texas, but I know it's hard to say if that game's more important, but does it take on more meaning from a rivalry aspect now that you guys don't have the Bedlam game on the schedule?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's Oklahoma versus Texas. It runs deep, so it's a lot of meaning in that.
How do you expect helmet communications to change football, and how is it different for you guys on defense?
I haven't heard anything about helmet communication, so I couldn't tell you.
Billy, what is Jackson like? What is Jackson like?
You can go talk to him.
To piggyback off what the gentleman said, is there a little bit of an edge to the DB room going to SEC? I know a lot of people talk all the time about how DBs in SEC play a little bit more press coverage, a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
Have you and the rest of the DBs kind of got that in your mind? Like, okay, yeah, we gotta line up and play a little bit more press man and be a little bit more physical at the line as opposed to in the Big 12, where, you know, some teams may play or you know, teams get a little bit more free releases and stuff like that. How does that kind of that discussion taking place in the locker room?
Yeah. It's not necessarily taking place in the locker room, but just we're hearing it from our coaches. You know, we need to be very versatile, being able to press bail, play off, play on top of routes. You know, leading the country in interceptions was great and all last year, but that's in the past now. We want to go do it again, but also on that point, you know, we gave up a whole bunch of passing yards, big plays and things like that. So that's mainly what we want to eliminate right there.
Can you talk to Maya Williams at all? Appreciate it.